At the end of every month, the average Canadian retiree gets 2 deposits. Canada Pension Plan, $925. Old Age Security, about $752. $1,677 total for the entire month. Every expert in this country will tell you that's not enough to live on. In Toronto, they're right. In Vancouver, it's not even close. Even the towns the internet keeps recommending I checked this week, and most of them stopped being affordable 3 years ago. But I spent this week doing the actual arithmetic on 10 Canadian towns where $1,677 still works. Not survives, works. Real prices, real property taxes, real heating bills. Spoken out loud, town by town. And yes, every one of these places is cheap for a reason, so I'll give you the catch each time, plainly. Because the number one town on this list was built, on purpose, for exactly this situation, and most Canadians have never once considered it. Let's get into it. Number 10. Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, the biggest place on this list, and the only one where prices are actually falling. The average home in the Sault sold for around $318,000 this spring, down almost 8% from a year earlier. Read that again. In Ontario, down 8%. While the rest of the province argues over bidding wars, this city of 70,000 on the St. Mary's River is quietly getting cheaper. Here's why it opens the list instead of topping it. $300,000 is still real money, and on a pension budget, you're shopping the East End streets below that average, where solid 2-bedroom bungalows sit well under $250,000. Now the math. Say the house is handled, you sold elsewhere, you own it outright. Property taxes on a home like that run roughly $300 a month. Budget another $300 or so for heat, hydro, and water, averaged across the year, and yes, that includes a Northern Ontario January. That's about $600 out of your $1,677, leaving you close to $1,100 a month with the roof completely handled. The honest catch? It's a steel town, and it moves with the steel. However, you get something almost nothing else on this list has. A full regional hospital, 10 minutes from any driveway. And if $300,000 still sounds like too much house, good. It only gets cheaper from here. Number 9. Shawinigan, Quebec, and this one comes with a warning about the entire province. For years, every retirement thread on the internet said the same thing. Go to Quebec, it's cheap. That advice has expired. Trois-Rivières median, $405,000. Rimouski, $400,000. Even Saguenay is at $370,000. The cheapest city in Quebec's own realtor rankings right now is this one, Shawinigan, at $316,500. So why include it? Because under that median, this old hydro town on the St. Maurice River still hides genuinely modest homes in the older quarters. And because Quebec quietly hands retirees the cheapest electricity in North America. Heating a small home on Hydro-Quebec power can run under $200 a month averaged over the year, the cheapest heat on this entire list. Taxes on a modest home, call it $260 a month. That's $460 out, roughly $1,200 left. The catch you already guessed, this is a French town. 90+% French. If you don't speak it and won't learn, daily life, the clinic, the hardware store, the neighbor over the fence gets lonely fast. If you will learn, you just bought the cheapest winters in Canada. Number 8. Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, the famous cheap prairie city, and the one on this list running out of time. The benchmark home here just crossed $292,000, up 8.6% in a single year, because inventory in Saskatchewan is the tightest it has ever been. However, here's what the benchmark hides. The median 2-bedroom home in Moose Jaw still sells for around $185,000. And for a retiree, a 2-bedroom is the whole assignment. Run it. House handled at $185,000. Saskatchewan property taxes on that home, roughly $210 a month. Prairie winters are serious, so budget $275 for heat and utilities averaged across the year. That's $485 out, and about $1,190 a month left over in a real city of 34,000 with a hospital, a historic main street, and the strangest tourist attraction in Canada, tunnels under downtown with a genuine bootlegging past. The catch is the trend, not the town. 8% a year means the window is closing. Of everything on this list, this is the one where waiting costs you. Number 7. Portage, Prairie, Manitoba, 45 minutes west of Winnipeg, and one of the cheapest places to keep a house in the entire country. The median home here sells for around $237,000, but the median 2-bedroom is closer to $155,000. Independent cost of living trackers put overall cost here about 27% below the national average, with housing among the lowest measured anywhere in Canada. The math. House handled at $155,000. Manitoba taxes run higher than you'd expect for the price, call it $250 a month on a home like this. Heat and utilities through a Prairie winter, about $275 averaged, roughly $525 out. That leaves $1,150 a month. And here's the part that matters at $75. When you need a specialist, a cardiologist, a cancer center, Winnipeg's full medical system is under an hour down the Trans-Canada. Cheap towns that are 4 hours from an MRI are a different product entirely. This one isn't. The trade-off is honest. It's flat, it's windy, and the town itself is quiet in a way that either sounds like peace or sounds like a warning. You know which one you are. Number 6. Miramichi, New Brunswick, where the famous Salmon River meets the last affordable corner of the Maritimes. Quick reality check, because the internet will lie to you here too. The towns every retirement blog recommends in New Brunswick are done. St. John's average price is now $386,000. Moncton, $375,000. But the province's own numbers show the North region, Miramichi, Bathurst, Campbellton, averaging around $242,000, and in Miramichi itself, solid homes along the river regularly list well under $200,000. Say you land one at $195,000. New Brunswick property taxes take about $280 a month. Heat, and be honest with yourself, a lot of maritime homes still burn oil, budget $300 averaged over the year. $580 out. Just under $1,100 left in a town where the river is the town. Fishing in the morning, trails in the afternoon, a Tim's on the way home. The catch is the one every maritimer will tell you first. Doctors. Recruitment here is a genuine, ongoing struggle, and a family physician is not guaranteed. If your health file is thick, weigh that hard. So far, every town has worked, but the margins have been $300 or $400, and one bad furnace month eats that. Notice the pattern though. Every one of these places lost an industry, not its bones. The mill left, the base shrank, the railway moved on, and the low prices are the echo. The next 5 are where the math stops being tight and starts being genuinely comfortable, including a town where the median house costs less than a new pickup truck, and the one Canada built on purpose for retirees. If you're finding this useful, subscribe. This channel does this exact math with real Canadian numbers every single week. Now, number 5. Grand Falls-Windsor, Newfoundland, the mill town in the exact center of the island. The paper mill that built this town closed in 2009, and the prices never recovered, which, if you're holding a pension check, is the entire point. Right now, there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in town listed at $209,000, and plenty sits below it. Homes across central Newfoundland routinely list $100,000 to $150,000 less than St. John's. Run one at $185,000. Newfoundland property taxes are among the gentlest in the country. On a home like this, call it $160 a month. Heat and light, $300 averaged because island winters are wet and windy. $460 out. $1,217 left, the widest margin so far, in a town with its own hospital, a salmon river through the middle, and a main street that still knows your name by October. The catch is the water between you and everyone you love. Flights in the ferry are real money and real weather. If your grandkids are in Ontario, count the trips honestly before you count the savings. And if an island discount tempts you but the distance doesn't, number 4 keeps the water and brings back the mainland. Number 4, Bathurst, New Brunswick, the one on this list with a beach. Bathurst sits on Chaleur Bay, and here's the sentence that shouldn't be possible in 2026. You can own a home 15 minutes from warm salt water, some of the warmest beaches in Atlantic Canada, on a government pension. Same northern New Brunswick market as Miramichi. Same regional average around $242, with plenty of tidy in-town homes under $200. At $190, the ledger looks like this. About $275 a month in property tax, $300 for heat and utilities averaged. $575 out, about $1,100 left. And Bathurst adds something subtle. It's genuinely bilingual. English works everywhere. French opens every second door. The friendliest possible version of the Shawinigan problem. The fine print. Winter on the Bay of Chaleur means storms that close the highway. and the region's economy has been shrinking for decades. Services thin out a little more every year. You're buying the water and the price, and accepting a town that's getting smaller around you. 3 towns left, and they're the 3 best. If someone you know is retiring on a government pension, the next one might be the town you send them. Number 3, Gander, Newfoundland, and this one breaks the pattern, because in Gander, you might not buy at all. This is the town that took in 7,000 stranded strangers on 9/11 and became a Broadway musical. It's built around one of the most storied airports on Earth, which means, unlike almost every small town in Canada, leaving is easy. But here's the number that put it at number 3. The average apartment rent in Gander has been measured at $696 a month, among the lowest of any town in the country. Do that math. Rent at $700. Heat and lights, $250. $950 all in. No property taxes, no new roof ever. No surprise furnace. That leaves over $700 a month from $1,677, and if your CPP came in small, this is where the Guaranteed Income Supplement quietly changes everything. GIS is an automatic top-up for low-income seniors. Even with 0 CPP at all, OAS+GIS puts a single retiree's floor near $1,875 a month. And if you have some CPP, GIS shrinks but rarely to nothing. Too many seniors never claim it. In Gander, that money is not survival. That's Tuesdays at the Legion and a flight to the mainland twice a year. The catch? Rental's that cheap or older stock, and vacancy is thin. You take what's available, not what's perfect. Number 2, Sydney, Cape Breton, the shock price of this entire list. Cape Breton Island is the place mainlanders dream about. The Cabot Trail, the fiddle music, the coastline that ends up on every calendar in the country. And in its biggest town, the median detached home recently sold for around $129,500. That is not a typo, and it's not a shack. Right now, there's a 3-bedroom near downtown listed at $179 and a 5-bedroom at $199. Take the median, owned outright. Cape Breton's municipal taxes are steep as a percentage, but on a number that small, it's about $220 a month. Heat, an older housing stock that often still runs on oil, $300 averaged, and that's being cautious. $520 out, $1,157 a month left on an island people pay thousands to visit for a week. With a regional hospital and a university right in town. Why so cheap? The coal and steel that built industrial Cape Breton died 2 generations ago, and the young left with them. However, for a retiree, that history is the discount, not the danger. You're not here for a job, you're here for the coastline the job seekers left behind. Which brings us to number 1, the town that saw all of this coming 30 years ago. Number 1, Elliot Lake, Ontario, the only town in Canada that planned this video. Here's the story almost nobody knows. Elliot Lake was a uranium boom town, a string of mines in the bush north of Lake Huron, around a dozen at the peak. When the mining died in the 90s, the town faced the same slow fade as everywhere else on this list. Instead, it did something no other Canadian town has done at this scale. It deliberately rebuilt itself as a retirement community, took the miners' housing, priced it for pensioners, and marketed itself across the country as the place to retire affordably. 30 years later, a third of the town is retirees, and the whole place is organized around them. And the prices still honor the founding idea. Condos here average around $130,000. There's a 3-bedroom detached house, a house currently listed at just under $120,000. Picture it, a bungalow on a quiet crescent, spruce out the back window, 5 minutes from a lake with a beach, in a town with hiking trails, a curling club, seniors program stitched into everything, and its own hospital. The full arithmetic, one last time. The house at 120, owned outright. Northern Ontario taxes are the catch here. Elliot Lake's rate is high, so call it $230 a month even on that price. Heat and hydro, $300 averaged across a real winter, $530 out. From $1,677, that leaves $1,147 a month. Groceries, the truck, the grandkids' birthdays, with the house completely, permanently handled. A couple with 2 pension checks against one house. The margin roughly doubles. The honest catch. The serious hospital stuff, specialists, surgeries, is 90 minutes away in Sudbury, and January is long. But this is the one town on the list where being retired isn't the thing you do quietly at the edge of a working town. It's the town's entire reason for existing. 10 towns, 1 pattern, 3 forces. First, in every single one, an industry left steel, uranium, coal, paper, and took the housing demand with it. Second, the towns themselves stayed standing, the hospitals, the rinks, the main streets, while taxes and prices stayed anchored to the old economy. And third, a pension check doesn't care where the jobs went. $1,677 is the same number everywhere in Canada. The only thing that changes is what it buys. That's the whole trick. You're not moving somewhere poor, you're arbitraging somewhere paused. One practical note before you go: if your CPP is below average, look up the Guaranteed Income Supplement. For a lot of the towns on this list, GIS is the difference between tight and comfortable, and it's automatic money too many seniors never claim. So which one could you actually see yourself in? The beach in Bathurst, the tunnels in Moose Jaw, the town that was built for you? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and if this math helped, subscribe, there's a new one every week.